What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to Labor Day weekend, Labor Day Monday version of the stream. This is a great example of the joy of being a musician, where you get no days off, but we get to do music. I don't think that there's a better trade-off. Hello, thanks for joining us, Geo Tongues. I wanted to know, what's this? A new follower? Evan 10. Oh my gosh, yes, nice. Thank you for following. Wanted to know if you ever track vocals through UAD plugins, the Distressor and CL1B. So, yes, I have tracked through UAD plugins, including the Distressor and CL1B. I used to have every single UAD plugin, and I don't anymore. Long story. Before I go into this story and talk about my experience with those plugins, look what I bought on Amazon this week. This is probably one of the worst decisions and best decisions I've ever made in my life. Thank you for... Yes, and it matches my Bape shirt. God, 2 pounds. That's right, 2 pounds of blue raspberry sour tape. And they were very, I don't know what it is in English, they were very considerate. Shinsetsu. In Japanese we would say very shinsetsu, very considerate. You have in the pack, and these are actually like really sour too. I ate a couple earlier and I gave like a couple half strips to my son. There's 3. They're very shinsetsu, they're very considerate. And they gave me these tongs in the box. I feel like this is going to take me a solid 3 years to get through half the box, so 6 years in total. But why don't we get started tonight? I got hella water and mugicha behind me, like some barley tea behind me, because I'm already thirsty just staring at these and my mouth is watering. These are sour. These are definitely teeth melters. Have a dentist on hand at all times. Hope you have life insurance. Look at this. And the acid and the sugar that's on it, it's very messy. Like it got all over the dinner table, so I have to kind of eat over this box too. Alright. Oh! Wrong hole. Wrong throat hole. Hope that made it better. Alright, hold on. Ooh! Okay, drink your water, folks. Oh. Some of that fairy dust went into my lungs. I think I'll be flying soon. Alright, it looks like we got some... So talking about the UAD stuff. By the way, if y'all have questions, keep sending them, because these questions are great, and I'm more than happy to answer them at any point during the stream. But now's a great time, before I pull up any sessions, before I pull up anything, let's talk. Let's just hang out and talk for a minute. So yes, tracking through UAD plugins, Distressor and CL1B. I have to ask you, Geotongues, what's your experience been like? And I will tell you my experience as well. Try to use both at once. Nice. Great. So you're doing two compressors at once. You like the sound of it? Oh, Evan, do this. Actually, hold on. Let me just do this. I wonder if I can just... I'm going to have to switch over here so I can do that. And then let me just go to here. If I can just paste it. Oh, yeah. There you go. You see that, right? There you go. I want to hear your experiences, Geotongues. Hey. Yeah, this Geotongues, yes, this blue raspberry sugar tape is amazing. This is like different too. It's more sour than the ones that you see at the store. All right, quick question. What did you use to hang up your acoustic panels? All right, who wants a mini studio tour? I'll give you a mini studio tour right now. Hopefully, I'll like try to carry this microphone around on this like fucking 10-pound stand. Gosh. All right, let's do this. Okay. Right now, we're in my home setup where I've been doing a lot of mixing from home because the studio has been super booked. Up, I have staple gunned for the cloud. I have currently just staple gunned some moving blankets, and it actually works pretty well. Here's my setup here. Got the light here, a nice bonsai tree. And if you look closely, who do we have up here? Nobody but the amazing Totoro. The illustrious Totoro. On these big boy stands. I have a computer. I have a little desk here. I bought this from Amazon. It's a little bit messy, so excuse me here. I got a mix cube. The other PMC with Ampaman in the corner. If you look real close, I can't zoom in because my webcam is connected to USB, so I can't just pull it around. But over in that corner on top of the shelf, currently I have Mr. Poopy Butthole, Scary Terry, and Mr. Meeseeks. Here's my little sumo wrestler. Hold on, wait a second. My little sumo wrestler. He shakes when he's solar power, so that's the solar power panel, and he shakes when he's in direct sunlight. But we're in nighttime right now, and this is the best thing. For my computer monitor stand, I have like a little power supply under the stand. I have a diaper box. How great is that? Kirkland's signature diaper box computer holder. Here's how I got clever. So I don't have any neighbors around on these walls, so there's no noise issues. Too much noise issues, but because I'm renting and this is not my home, the one thing that I do, I want to avoid putting up holes in the wall. And these panels that I have are GIK acoustic panels. They're the 6-inch bass trap ones, the really nice thick ones, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in this room right now. And here's the deal. I don't want to put holes in it, so what I did is I went to Walmart and I paid $20 and I bought a bunch of boxes, Banker's boxes. So I have them leaning up on the wall on boxes. You'll notice they're all on boxes, except for ones on the back closet wall. The back closet wall is actually hanging by that 3M hang on the wall sticky tape stuff. I would put that on the walls in this room here, but it doesn't stick too well to drywall. Whereas the wooden doors, it sticks really well. So I didn't have an issue with them staying up. Yeah, that's how you avoid, and then also I use them as storage. So there's actually stuff in the boxes underneath the acoustic panels. It's not ingenious, it's genius. It is straight genius. No holes in the walls, no pokey holes, I get to keep my deposit when I leave and I buy a home, which will hopefully happen sooner than later. Looking like the next year or two. Tape round 2. Sour tape round 2. Here it comes. Ugh. So sour. More sour than raspberry. I got 2 pounds of this sour blue raspberry tape candy. Bought on Amazon for like $15. Whoa. Blue raspberry command strips. Ah. Delicioso, as Dora says. The other day, we watched so much Dora in the house right now. My son, my oldest, my 3-year-old, he really loves Dora right now. He's so into Dora, in fact, that the other day we were playing like soccer or something outside, and he's like, he wanted me to stop chasing him for a moment. And, being dead serious, he was like laughing. He looked at me, he says, Daddy, Daddy, instead of saying stop or yamete in Japanese or something like that, he said, Daddy, say para, para, Daddy, para. I'm like, huh? My son speaks more Spanish than I do. I only know how to say very inappropriate things. Yo, this $15 blue raspberry strips, they're really good. Just make sure you have a good dentist. What's on the snack menu? Yo, that's genius. Reminds me of Yokozuna. Yo, you know what Yokozuna is? Yokozuna is the official title of like the champion sumo wrestler. So there's only a select amount of Yokozuna, and it's a title given to it's the highest degree of sumo wrestler that you can achieve, and you become almost like a god. It's kind of like, because it's so tied in close to sumo wrestling, and the sport is so tied in so closely to the Shinto religion, you actually become like almost like a priest if you win the title of Yokozuna. And I would say the last 50 years, a good majority, like a good solid amount of them were not Japanese. Like they were Hawaiian or Polynesian, but they all speak very good Japanese, like impressive good Japanese. Like most people who live in Japan for very long periods of time, even with training, cannot speak that good. It's very amazing. The sound is all right. It gives me something decent, and I adjust the mix. Oh, are you talking about the UAD stuff? Stage gain? I think I got the same stand. Stage line? Oh, you're talking about for the mix cube. Oh yeah, I just have my mix cube on a pole for it's got actually like a little screw-in mount, so I can put it on a mic stand. So I was just standing on a mic stand in the middle of the air, just kind of floating there. Mix cube is dope. Okay, cool. I got the name from the wrestling, though. Wrestling? Huh? Wait, are you talking about, like, WWE? Are you talking about, like, WWE? There's a wrestler... Is there a wrestler in WWE called Yokozuna? Oh, I see. I did not know that. Oh, cool. I got the name from wrestling, though. Mike Stan, I meant. Okay. How big is Shohei Ohtani for the Asian community? I'm not sure. Let me look him up. I don't follow sumo wrestling that closely. Wait, the baseball player? He's 6'4"? Dude, Japanese dude is 6'4"? Like, I'm average at 5'8". Oh, Yokozuna passed away. Damn. That's sad. Rip. Alright, but, yeah. Shohei Ohtani playing for the Angels. Born in Iwate, Japan. 1994, so that means he's about my age. He's a year younger than me. Yeah, 6'4" is freakishly tall. Like 6'4" is tall in America. And there's like a solid like 6 inches of national height average between America and Japan. So like, yeah, 6'4" is very tall in Japan. He is definitely sticking out. And let's see, like in Okinawa, my island of Okinawa, I'm 5'8". I'm relatively tall. Like I'm not like over everybody's heads, but I'm definitely not short to anybody. I was about to say handsome, but let's be honest, I'm handsome no matter what height I am and no matter where I go. Especially as I'm eating these blue sugar strips. Melt me away. Yeah, for the UAD tracking stuff, it actually works pretty well. I think the most underrated preamp in the UAD line is the no emulation preamp, just the straight up UAD preamp. I think it's underrated. I think people get really, really excited about the emulation preamps, and they forget how clean the original preamp is without any emulation. Tracking in, the no latency tracking in with inserts is amazing. In fact, I'm using it right now. You're hearing my voice through the LA2A, the UAD LA2A. So there you have it, folks. And then on top of that, I don't really need to do any EQing on this microphone though, because this is the Lauten Audio 208, LS208. And it is a front addressed condenser microphone, so it's not super dark. So it's great. We're having a good time here. Y'all can hear my voice just fine. We have this like endorsement deal with Lauten Audio, so even at this Thursday we're having at the studio. If you're in LA or based around LA or willing to come down to LA. This Thursday at the studio, we're having a mixer, like a meetup, where there's going to be some drinks, some light refreshments, and we're going to have industry masks are required because it is partially indoors, majority indoors. And yeah, we just kind of like get together, meet and greet, great networking for other people, other musicians, other engineers, other producers. Great place to meet people and network. It's really good. Here's another. This is like my last one. Honestly, these are so sour and so strong. I can only really eat like 3 or 4 of these at a time. Like, these usually come in like a pack of, what, like 10? 11? Or no, 9? No, wait, what? 10? 8? I don't know. But this is too much. These are much stronger. Like, one of these strips feels like 2 or 3 of like the regular ones. I just created a Twitch. Lol, looking fly, my man. Wait a second. You just created a Twitch? Oh, Milo! Oh, what up, Milo? How are you, Milo? I miss you, Milo. I hope you're doing well. Alright. I might eat a few more of these later, but holy cow. This is a very Japanese. Also, feel free to ask me, like, I can help you with your Japanese as well if anybody's studying Japanese. This is, we make this at home every day. This is Mugicha. Mugicha is barley tea. Kind of like herbal tea, but instead of herbs, it's just wheat. Trying not to spill on my keyboard. I've broken one of these keyboards already, so... Do I enjoy ginseng tea? I don't think I've had enough ginseng tea to have an opinion. By enough, I mean I don't think I've had any. Probably have at some point. But I cannot recall if I enjoy it or not. I'm not a tea connoisseur. How well do you find the UAD stuff recreates the real stuff? Good enough. Good enough for sure. I think UAD does a really good job. And that's the thing too, this is one of those questions where it's hard to answer because especially among the vintage stuff, with all the parts and internal workings corroded differently from different locations and different time periods and different settings. Even the original vintage pieces themselves sound different from one to the other. So the fact that they picked one unit, maybe two or three, to emulate from and kind of get an in-between matching one in between those three units still sound wildly different. So to match one perfectly, like even if we had the technology and the know-how to match it perfectly, right? Absolutely sounds exactly the same. Even the audio files and all the audio nerds that are super stingy and stupid, they excuse me, slip of the tongue there. Like even if we had it perfect, it's not going to sound like the one that they own, you know, because every single one sounds different. So it sounds good enough, that's for sure. I do enjoy the UAD stuff. I think that as far as gear goes, and let me speak on behalf of someone that has spent way too much time and money investigating gear and comparing gear and trying gear, I think that some gear can change your mix in a way that can improve your specific mix style. For example, some people, like if this piece of gear makes things warmer, by warmer that means the piece of gear can no longer, is so how do you say? So inferior, because analog is technically inferior. It is so inferior that warmth comes from the term that this gear, this analog equipment cannot handle top end. The reason why SSL was so famous was because of the least amount of components in their signal chain, unlike the Neve, and they retained the most amount of top end in the signal. So like warmth literally comes from the inferior analog components that degraded the signal so much that the top end, they couldn't handle the top end, and thus the top end degraded and was no longer there. Warmth. So how's that? So if you want something warm, maybe warm is not what you need either. Maybe warm doesn't make your stuff sound better. So I don't know, like it's all so subjective. You know what isn't subjective though? Plugins are good enough and they sound great. And most of my favorite engineers are almost all in the box, if not majority in the box. People that I study. There's only one or two mix engineers that, like one of the mix engineers that I enjoy that is still out of the box, hybrid, mostly out of the box, is Manny Marroquin. One of my favorites, who is mostly now in the box with only a few pieces, is Tony Maserati, which I love his mixes a lot, from what I understand. Can you talk about a moment in your life where you felt like you made a decision that brought you to where you are today? Maybe a right time, right place scenario. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, yes. I have a quote for you too. Let's start with a quote. This is a good quote. If I can find it. All right, this is from C.S. Lewis. This is a good quote. His one's for you, Noah. There are always plenty of rivals to our work. We are always falling in love or quarreling, looking for jobs or fearing to lose them, getting ill and recovering, following public affairs. If we let ourselves, we shall always be waiting for some distraction or other to end before we can really get down to our work. The only people who achieve much are those who want knowledge so badly that they seek it while the conditions are still unfavorable. Favorable conditions never come. How's that for a quote? Dang. That's one of my favorite quotes. So I would say, to answer your question here, a moment in my life where you felt like, it was when I first started my first studio in Utah, in Provo, Utah, in the middle of nowhere, without a huge music scene. I decided to invest some time, some money, and mostly time. We're talking about, I was going to school full-time with a wife, and I was taking theory classes, so that was taking forever. And I would be working consistently. I don't think I worked less than 80 hours a week for like 4 years, starting in 2016. On top of 80 hours a week, and sometimes going up to 100 hours a week of working, mostly unpaid gigs to increase my portfolio, I started making money, and I was able to somehow pay rent every month for the studio. And having a commercial location did help a lot, as then I got really good at SEO with Google Maps and finding clients through local listings, figuring it out, or else I had to close down the studio, and I lost a lot of money. So it was ride or die, it was very, very important for me to get it right. So deciding to stick around and not quit while running that first studio definitely took to me where I am. I think that most people at my age, so how old was I? I think I was like barely 22 when I started this lifestyle. Yes, I was married at 22 already. And because looking around for a girlfriend and caring about that stuff is a waste of time. Honestly, like once you get married, you realize how dumb is it to think about that stuff or spend any emotional energy thinking about how cute women are. An emotional waste of time once you kind of like get to that point. At the meantime, it's enjoyable. Enjoy it. Enjoy dating. We're both boys and girls, and whatever your preferences are. But I will say, like, at a certain point, caring is a waste of time. So if you just get married real quick, to someone, the right person, that's very important, and you're committed to it and you're ready for it. It shows a level of commitment and passion, and that I think is a foreshadow of how your business ethic will change as well, your work ethic. So 22, my father helped me start the business. I think he put in about $15,000 to $20,000, which we paid back within the first year, and we started the studio. It was incredibly difficult, and yeah, that's one of those life-changing moments. I did not think I was going to do music, and then all of a sudden, I was starting other businesses. Like, other people saw me working and my work ethic, and then I joined a bunch of other like entrepreneurial teams. I helped start up. Most of these are shelved now, but I helped start up a real estate marketing firm, which we almost got bought out. Like, that was incredible. A company paid for us, or was about to pay for us, and that's a whole nother story. Did a digital marketing firm. I did a bunch of stuff, and had an e-commerce website, like just a bunch of things that I helped partner on, and I kind of joined the entrepreneurship circle in the community, not just the music circle, and kind of was the rising young buck in that circle as well, and where I picked up a lot of stuff. So I have a weird amount of experience in digital marketing, not in advertisements and running ads. That's some stuff that we can hire out to do, but in actual, like, I was a creative officer, so taking lead on creative digital content, and I learned a lot. But it's still, to do it yourself is one thing, and to lead a team of 10 people doing it for other people is really easy. It's not easy, but is a different thing. So it was really cool. I got this like corporate level experience from my own company. We had currently have about, if I'm not mistaken, 8 or 9 employees outside of the 3 owners in that company. This is Launchpod Media. It's a media marketing firm. It's a podcast marketing firm. White glove podcast marketing firm. So it's a little bit more higher end. We had bigger clients and clientele. It was cool. I'm not normal, but it was that work ethic, that not giving up. It was the moments of day, like at one point, I was like, every week I was having a mental breakdown, like wanting to quit. Like, this is not for me. I'm working way too hard. I'm not enjoying this. I'm like, I lost my love for music. And then my wife would come in and be like, no, you're like, she wouldn't let me quit. Like in the most in the most like consoling type of way. She was so kind and was reminding me of my goals, and not in a pushy, like some wives are like, you need to do this. Like, don't waste my time. Like, you need to do this, or like, you need to make it, or else this is always a time. And I have a sister that's like that to her husband, and my wife is not like that at all. She was just very kindly, politely reminding me, it's like, I thought you loved this stuff, or anything that I can do to help, very humbly kind of pushing me, and then I was able to recharge for the week and trying to get some sleep, trying to find balance with sleep is tough. Bro, you need to write a book because I could listen to you talk about this shit all day. Yes, I actually have written a book, but it is not published. And someday I will finish it. But I'm not like... no, that's an excuse. I'm gonna shut up. Yes, I will finish this book someday, and I will give you a free copy, Noah. Thank you for your words of encouragement. Yes, there's books in the work. You know, I'm also a children's book author. Did you know this? Did y'all know this? I actually, me and my wife have written a children's book together, and I made a TikTok video about it, and it kind of went semi-viral on TikTok and got a bunch of plays. It's dope. I will say right now in my life, I'm at a coasting point in my life where I'm not struggling too hard. And money is relatively passive. And I have a lot of work to do. And so I'm focusing on, and when I moved to LA, which was a whole nother story, that was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I was about 10 months. I spent 10 months away from my family a majority of the time. And boy, that ate at me so much. Like, that really took a toll on my life. Like, I need some major therapy because of it. And part of that therapy was just spending time with my family. So now I'm working from home majority of the time because the studio gets booked out. When I meet with clients, I go use the studio whenever I want. But yeah, it's not easy, but I don't really know what to say. I think I'll end up being cliche and say that what you see is the best parts. What I promote is the best parts. What you don't see and what I don't promote is how much stress and mental anguish, spiritual anguish, mental breakdowns, how much pain and suffering has been in my life in order to get to what you see as pleasant. So I do not negate the experience. When I'm not one to emotionally, I try not to. I've been working on reacting and not reacting. The world is full of reactionaries, people just reacting to the news and getting offended and taking everything personally. I'm trying not to do that. And one of the things that's always hard for me is when, especially in music or in anything entertainment based, people say, wow, you're talented. And what sometimes that can infer is that I didn't put any time into learning and getting better. And in my eyes, I'm not talented. I'm really not talented. What I am is a hard worker and a faster learner than most people. I learn faster, and I at least set my life up and study harder than everybody else when it comes to things that I'm passionate about. So with music, when I'm doing free work for 80 hours a week, along with going to school for music, let's say learning is a linear progression. Like for every 1 hour that you put in, you get 1% better, right? It's not actually linear. IQ goes into this. People with higher IQ tend to learn faster rather than low IQ, right? But let's say it's just linear for everybody, right? In this scenario. If I put in 80 hours a week doing free work for everybody, and then this other college student, this happened quite a lot, they're complaining that they're tired of not making money, and you ask them, how many hours have you been putting into building your portfolio and working on your business? Because of school, I'm so busy, I can only put in 10 to 30 hours a week. Well, then, even if they doubled their output, their input, I would still more than double their output. And I've just been doing that for years. Literally for years. So now at those points, if you spent 20 hours a day, 20 hours a week working on music at the age of 22, you know how many more years? I have to stop music completely right now and spend 0 hours a week. And you continue your 20 hours a week path, assuming that we learn at the same rate. You will have to go on for years before you catch up with me. To the point that I am right now, where I quit. Yeah, people, I'm not talented. I'm a hard worker. There's a book called The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Horowitz. Ben Horowitz. Is that his name? I don't remember. The book's at the studio. I have a little library that I keep for the interns at the studio. And in that book, he has a cool quote. I love it. I use it all the time. I don't know if it's a good one, but I'll share it with y'all. He says, if you have to eat shit, don't nibble. And that quote is one of the hardest quotes ever. I love that quote. If you really have to get down and grind, if you really have to work your butt off, then why are you nibbling? It's not going to go anywhere. You're just going to have to take longer to get through it, and that shit sucks. Literally. You know what? I have not read the Four Agreements yet. But I have it. And I read actually the first chapter. I read the first chapter. This is a very simple read. This will only take a couple days. I should just finish it, huh? Is it good? Do you like it? Do you recommend it? Did you read the Four Agreements? Not taking things personally is the toughest one for me to apply. I think that's the toughest one for everyone to apply. I don't know what the other Four Agreements are. I think that by obvious observation is very tough for most people, and thus why the news does so well. And why, in this modern day and age where information is so publicly accessible to all of us, still people get pissed off and are easily offended. Even my own father watched the Amazon special with, what's his name? It was the Freedom of Speech Amazon movie special. I forgot what it was. Hosted by, not Purdue, Prager. Someone the guy that made PragerU, Prager University. And the day after, the show is all about how you should never say somebody is wrong and allow everybody to have freedom of thought and let people disagree with you. And then the next day, within a 24-hour span, my own father, I had an opinion. He said, you're wrong and you're evil for thinking that is okay. About something very, very trivial. And my father's a very intelligent man. And for him to say that to me within a 24-hour span of watching this hour-and-a-half documentary about the freedom of speech and freedom of thought, still took it personally. I would say that's an incredible sign of the difficulty of emotional maturity. And I think this is something that we all work on consistently. I still get pissed off when someone cuts me off in the middle of the road sometimes. That's a very big test of patience and trying not to react. And why are we talking about this and not about music? I would say that I enjoy talking about this stuff, and I would say, to kind of like put this all together, I would say that emotional maturity, especially as an engineer and a producer, not as an artist, but as an engineer and the producer, going in the studios, going to sessions, trying to pitch your stuff, trying to get work, high-level work with high-level clients and networking, which is a huge part of the music industry. If you are not a cool and emotionally mature person, you will not get far in the industry. That is a guarantee. I've seen that with my own personal eyes, and with many people around me that have been successful. It is very obvious that the amount that you can achieve directly correlates with how kind you are, and how mature you are. I think it really does. And when I say maturity, I'm not talking about Cardi B. Like, as an artist, it is your job to be crazy. It is your job to be like Van Gogh and theoretically cut off your ear out of insanity. Go deaf and still make music like Beethoven. Like, the job of an artist is someone that introduces new perspectives that have not been normalized, that will potentially and more than likely be hated on, and that over time other people kind of latch on and it becomes normal. That is the job of the artist, to introduce new perspective to the world that is not yet normalized, that can create emotional reactions. Postmodernism, Cubism. Was Van Gogh loved during his time? Absolutely not. People came into his art shows and were emotionally livid. They had emotional reactions to paint on canvas. Like, and now postmodernist paintings and all this minimalist stuff is selling for $20 at Target. And everybody has something like that in their home. That is the job of the artist. I think that in a certain light, I think that it is a beautiful thing to be able to not have as much intelligence and to be able to live in bliss. Like, for example, will someone that is you can't argue with for lack of intelligence is Lil Pump, right? Lil Pump. I think Lil Pump has a piece of genius, is something that we all wish we had. Let's say I tell you right now, the secret to life and success is to not give a crap about what anybody says, to do your own thing and continue trailblazing your own path. Do not have empathy and do not write music for other people, write it for yourself. Let's say that is the secret to life, and it probably is. But to do that on purpose, and to knowing that that is the way to go, but to do it without giving up, without getting sad, and to do it completely on your own accord, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck. Being peace. Oh, okay, hold on. Wait a second. I don't have being peace yet, but same author, The Heart of the Buddha's Teachings. Yeah, I haven't finished this one yet. This was in my current read pile. Yes, DK has not left the chat. I'm here. I just want to go grab that book real quick. I have a bunch more books at the studio too. I think reading is important. I think the best thing that you can do is have a mentor that is willing to take the time and donate and volunteer time and effort to teach you. And that mentor is usually someone that is already not someone who is getting there, but usually someone who is already at a place that you want to be. I think that is the number one best learning experience to have. To find someone that is willing to dedicate that much time, and they're not your father, That's a hard thing to come by to begin with, and on top of that, they're at where you want to be. That's another tough time. What's up, Bourbon? Have a good night. And I think that's tough. And then the second thing, I think the second best thing next to a mentor or mentors, a tribe of mentors, as Tim Ferriss will call it. I think more than the second best thing next to that is books. Not YouTube videos. I think YouTube videos and videos in general and lectures will come third and fourth. I think books is number 2. Partially because on paper, when it has to go through that much editing, it has to be succinct and it has to make sense. It's both visual because you have to read, and not visual as in like paintings and art and coloring book, and retention rate is much higher in books. And the author can put a lot more thought and specific direction and specific advice into a book than in a 10-minute YouTube video, in a 30-minute YouTube video, in a 2-hour YouTube video. And the retention is off the scale, bar none, not even close. And more importantly, the work, nobody likes reading. Reading is work. I do not know anybody that's Gen Z or Gen Y that likes reading for pleasure. And more importantly, nonfiction books for pleasure. And for those that do, you're a nerd, just like me. And I would say that if you're able to overcome the self and the natural displeasure of reading, then you have the work ethic and the mental maturity to learn and apply. I think that like the act of reading is a mental gym. Like truly. Like lifting weights. The act of reading is difficult and is a grind in itself, and I think is very important. Reading with a highlighter. Only book I've ever read in one sitting. It's that good. Being Peace. It's that good, huh? Dang, I need to read that. Okay, let's get into these mixes. I think we've chatted enough here. Look at these songs. This is fun. I love talking about this stuff. I got a karaoke thing that I'm gonna go to right after this. So we're just gonna do these. I'm gonna cut it off here. So we have 4 people. 4 people submit some music. I'm not gonna accept anything more other than these 4 tonight, because I got somewhere to be tonight. I truly enjoy talking about this stuff. I love practical philosophy, and not the study or the theory of, but how we apply in our life. I think, I love this stuff, and I love talking about this. I want to hear you sing some MJ at karaoke. Yo, hold on. We don't need to go to karaoke for you to hear me sing some MJ. I'll do that stuff right now. Early 20s turmoil. Real. Also, this is Vince Shamalama V and I go way back, and this is a real story. Maybe I'll talk about it someday. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast. Of a little over 2 years of podcasting, I may have brought it up once or twice. Vince Shamalama V introduced me to longboarding in about 2010, 2011, and together, within a year of practicing almost daily together, I got sponsored and started winning competitions and started like getting paid to skateboard. And if I'm not mistaken, Vince, we went on some like East Coast tours? We went up to Maryland quite often together. Obviously we went around Virginia. Did we ever go up to like New Jersey together? Geotongues, any essential mixing and recording books you guys can recommend? This is a tough one. I have never... Okay, I'm going to start us off with this. I have never read a mixing specific book. I've read, for school, I partially read through chapters of recording techniques or something like that. And I think that that was useful, informationally useful, but I don't think it's relevant as far as industry, unless you're trying to go into the bigger industry. And then at that point, you need to have an internship and a mentor anyway to begin with, an assistant for someone. So you'll learn all that stuff as being an assistant. Yeah, modern recording techniques. That's the one that I've read part. Yeah, for school. I would say for mixing, that's a tough one. I have a bias and an inkling, a feeling that to teach mixing through a book is going to be very tough because it's truly not something you can... Like, how I hear things, it's not something I can really teach you. That's why we do these every Monday, which we're going to get into. I'm going to just import these tracks. I'm going to import these tracks and kind of get going so we can hear. The point of these, so let's go over the rules real quick. So I'm kind of cutting it off right now. I'm cutting off if you wanna, it looks like you're trying to put something in real quick. Scumlod. If you want to upload something real quick, feel free to do so immediately, as I'm cutting it off. I'm not doing any more after these. I got some karaoke business to go to right after this with some friends. I'm part of this new collective of producers and songwriters called Outdonesia. Play on words with Indonesia. And a bunch of people in the record in the collective has big credits. And we just landed, as a group, a huge credit that I'm still not allowed to say. But I can describe him as one of the top 5 artists right now. And we're excited to announce that when his next album comes out. Yeah, man. Just send me one. Female producer from Australia. Yes. Yes, yes, throw your stuff in. We need more girls in the industry. Let's be honest. I'm tired of going to NAMM or AES in America and, like, feeling guilty about my gender. Like, it's like being, like, a slightly brown dude and you go into a wedding and you don't really notice or care that you're brown until you realize there's nobody else that's brown, and then you notice for the first time, and that feels weird. It's kind of like NAMM and AES, where it's like, I don't really care or notice that I'm a dude. And then... Oh, thanks for subscribing! Thanks for subscribing, Vince. But yeah, and I don't really care or notice or talk about the fact that I'm a dude at all. But then when I go to NAMM and AES, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no girls here. Like, it takes a lot to recognize that. Holy cow, so... You're in Melbourne. Scumlod. Alright, upload your stuff. Australia has my favorite bands of all time. The Bee Gees? Oh, I love the Bee Gees. They're in Australia, right? Hold on, did I get them all? Wandering Adrian. Hold on, I thought I... Wandering Adrian drums. In Need, Ralph. Alright, hold on, give me a second here. Oh, for some reason this Wandering Asian Drums is not letting me import the file. Weird. Can you re-upload that one? Whoever sent that in? I think that's Evan 10. The Cat Empire, Hiatus Coyote, and a few others. Hiatus Coyote is Australian? Yeah, I'll play it from SoundCloud. Sunshine Coast, yo, that's nice. Alright, Here it is. I'm gonna go through this. Who? I'm gonna switch over to the screen now. We've talked enough. Hold on. I feel like I'm getting a very important call right now. Oh, I should answer this call. It's from one of my interns watching over the studio. All right. He hung up, so I'm gonna let it. You can call me again if it's a real emergency. All right, I just paused the jazz. I love the jazz, but I just paused it. And let's see here. Give me 1 second. All right. Cool. So, who did the OGOY? OGOY, that is Ethan. I'll get over you. Open parentheses, never. Close parentheses. I'll get over you, never. All right, let's, is Ethan, are you here? If you're here, we'll play your song. If Ethan is not here, then we'll go on to the next song, which is, oh man. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this. I mean, should I try? Lyrics may not make sense. If you can give feedback. Oh, so this is a foreign language. I'm not even gonna try, dog. Oh, Ethan is here. Dope. Ethan. And then after that, Nauting, I think, is next with Dingfa Kate. That's my best guess at that pronunciation. All right. IGOY. Let's listen to it.
I can see you sitting
Welcome back, Urban. And wow. Nice job, Ethan. You know, this reminded me of as far as so this is mixing music, right? So I'm talking about mixing and the sound quality, not necessarily the songwriting, which I think is dope. I think is really dope. And definitely you are a songwriter for sure. This is a much better recording than my first records. The ones when I started out in my friend's basement making records and I was super into it. If I was able to make stuff sound this good at that point, boy. Yeah, this is definitely so I think that I think that it sounds great and I think that it's amazing. And actually to be honest, the first one that you sent a while back, maybe it was like a few weeks back, where I was like, yo, the drums are the same thing. This one like changed. There was like some ebb and flow. I like that. It was pretty dynamic. The lyrics were great. Actually, I like your voice. I think that it has some real good potential. I really do. I think it's actually kind of neat. And I miss the old. I think there's still a good use. I don't think you have to have a high pop voice, and I love it. Um, I think keep making more, dog. Like and send it again next week. Like keep making more. I think that, and I mean this in the best way possible. Like we're all at different levels, and I don't think that I have to make this rule. But if it's not constructive feedback, other than that, let's leave the feedback to me. And I honestly think Ethan, like, please, please, for the love of all that is holy, keep making music. Please keep making music, and keep coming back and letting me listen to your songwriting and to your work every week or whenever. Free acoustic drum tracking done. Please hit me up on the Discord. Yo, Noah, that's an amazing idea. If you got, like seriously, Ethan, if you should take him up on that. And Noah, you should do it. On that note, Noah, if you do it, and if you follow through to this, because Noah just asked me for a mix to do, a paid mix thing. If you follow through and help out Ethan, then I will make sure that I can fit the mix in your budget. I.e., major discount time, and we can make that happen if you do it for Ethan. That'd be dope, because I think that would help out a lot. So we'll make that happen. So yeah, good job. Good job. I like this song. Hell yes, I've helped like 3 or 4 people on the Discord now, so I'm really looking to help more people. Yeah, Ethan, get on that. And honestly, I like with stuff like this. This is a rockin' track. I think it's banging. Mix wise, so talking about mix wise, I definitely think that it's you could use a little bit more, like use not too much, and I want to be careful saying this because it could mean like I don't want you to overcompensate, but I think there could be some good uses of effects like reverbs and delays. Don't overcompensate and put way too much. I'm not saying drown it in reverb, but I'm saying like give it some good space. I think EQ wise, like if I do something like this is not going to be the best example. And granted that rock music and this style of music is just going to be different. If I do this on the 2-track, it brings out the hi-hat too much. So turn down the hi-hat, but if you're going to have Noah do the drums anyway on this one, but assuming that Noah's not going to do anything on this one, turn down the hi-hat quite a bit. The hi-hat right now, currently, I mean, like, to kind of put it in perspective, the hi-hat is quieter than the snare. And this is not a Stevie Wonder track, so he's the only one that can get away with it. Also like so for stuff like this, the culture of this genre, I would say turn down the hi-hats substantially. Turn up the snare a bit more. Actually the vocals are buried in a very good way. I like how the vocals are buried. That's very typical for like a rock track, or something like this, like an alt. I'm just gonna use the generic term rock. I know it's not technically whatever that means, right? Um, I never thought I'd hear a Stevie Wonder joke. Dude, that was a light one too. So I think just turning that down a little bit. In general, there's a lot. This is one thing that you'll need to be careful with in the future. This is a lot of EQing here. Vocals in this rock, in this sort of genre, is going to be darker and not as bright as, let's say, a Post Malone track, right? It's not going to be. It's going to be more within the realms of, like Manny Marroquin does such a good job mixing John Mayer. I love the way John Mayer records sound. They're so warm, they're so dark, but yet they're still really clear, and everything has a place. And so I think in the next time, and this is going to be one of those secrets, I want you to listen to a lot of something like very well done, like John Mayer. I think John Mayer actually has a very good sound that I think you can kind of try to emulate a little bit. Not like songwriting, but tonally speaking. And having that as a reference to be able to compare back and forth, not to be discouraged, but to kind of get your head in the right place as far as like how loud things are. This is actually a really good foundational mix. Like everything is balanced out. I can hear the voice. I can hear what you're saying. It's all like I can't hear half of what, like the vocals in most. What was the example? Foo Fighter records that I hear. I don't understand what the dude is saying. The vocals are so buried, as is kind of the genre of the culture genre, right? The genre of the culture in that the culture of that genre. There we go. But in here, I can actually hear vocals. I know what you're saying. I can hear the guitar. I can hear the bass. I can hear the drums. I think they could be a little bit louder, but I don't want to change the style as well. So, but I think just like tonally, some EQ, some cleaning up, because right now it's a little bit muddy and everything feels a little bit separated. And I don't know exactly how to do that. If it were me, if you gave me the stems individually, it would probably be some EQ and compression, but that is the most generic answer. It's kind of like when your priest says, no, I'm not gonna answer that. That's a dumb comparison. I'm the only one that's gonna get that. But I really think that like this is actually a really good foundational mix. It sounds like you kind of move the faders and you place everything in the right position. You just need a little bit more experience with EQ. Post-hardcore. That's wild. Yeah, I definitely think that your instinctive like leveling is there. I think just with some EQ help, some compression help, and kind of like gluing things together a touch more is going to go a long way. Listen to a lot of, I think sonically, sonically, as far as mixing goes, I think that John Mayer as an artist is going to help you with your sound more than post-hardcore, which is mixing like hardcore and like dance music, EDM dance of any type, of any subgenre, as well as rock in any subgenre are very different mixing, especially now in 2021, is very, very different mixing styles than pop and hip hop, which are, because it's 2021, are much closer together now. And the pop genre will always ever be changing, but true EDM music is going to make pop mixers scratch their heads and go, why the heck did you do that? That is inherently wrong. But the fact that most EDM artists are also mixing it themselves and like kind of like producing and like making things distort on purpose, so that's kind of like its whole vibe and culture. And rock, it's like this weird thing where you have to have that inferior sound. By inferior, I mean like that analog tone. Like, it's that's bad. Someone's gonna hate me one day for saying stuff like that. I already probably have people that hate me for saying that. But like it's a very much darker and different tone, a more era-based tone, a nostalgic tone than it is more modern and new. Hence John Mayer. I think John Mayer is a great example of a modern artist with a nostalgic era tone. And Serban Ghenea also has been doing a really great job with AP and Bruno Mars Silk Sonic stuff, with Skate and Leave the Door Open. Like that stuff is very era mixing and it sounds great. It sounds very authentic. I would use real drum loops for other samples. Those drums sound good, a little too unrealistic. I think that the track would drastically change with more realistic drums. And that's going to go into some sample choices as well, sound choices anyway. But if you can get Noah on a track, dope. All right, so we're going to move on to the next song. Thank you so much, Ethan. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining in. We're going to go on to the next song. Is this person here? Nauting? Ringfa Kathe or Ruban of a Show. All right. Are any of these here? And any of y'all who's in need? Who submitted in need? Yeah, rock snares are typically less loud. They still have to punch through a mix, but compared to hip hop, much less loud. Oh, Urban. Oh, that's you, dog. Ruben of a Show. Okay. Dang, hold on. I'm gonna change your name on the server. Just so. Wait a second. Why? Did you change your nickname? Urban. Wait a second. Why does it say? All right, anyway, I'm going to play your song, Urban. Let's go. Here we go. 911. That is 2 songs at once. Here we go.
911, what is your emergency? Yeah. I can already hear it. I know exactly what you're gonna say. Yeah. This couldn't wait. Wasted all your time being somebody you ain't somebody. It's silly when I think about the time I could've saved. I'm crying out for you. Already down when you're gone through. I know you hear me, you're far away. And I just wanna.
Oh, crap. I didn't realize. Oh, something. Monique. Let me just import these. I didn't mean to stop it. Sorry, Urban. I know you're like vibing. Let me just import these real quick. Oh, shoot. My bad, Urban.
Silly when I think about the time I could've saved. I'm crying out for you. Already down when you're gone through. I know you hear me, you're far away. And I just wanna say I took a knee, yeah, I took a knee. 'Cause I was in need, yeah, I Another side. I came in your life again. Why does this keep happening? Not weighing advantages, yeah. I've been practicing, but ain't nothing really hard as a loss. Cause you and I might be a lost cause, but I still stay cause I know where we come from. Baby, maybe you change. Maybe you be a little bit different. Maybe you stay. Maybe you stay. Maybe you stay and never leave, just like I believe. Maybe you be who I need, my serenity. Maybe you be who I need. 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 I took a knee, it's crazy cause I feel the memories, they never cease. Even when I don't believe we'll ever be, still I just won't leave, still I just won't leave. Why do I know I'm just heartbroken all of the time? Maybe our hearts will both heal if we give it some time.
Nice. All right. We're just gonna kind of rush through these. I have a karaoke party that I'm supposed to be attending tonight, so I'm just gonna kind of rush through the next few. I love Ethan and his music, so like I spent a little bit too much time on it, but I don't regret it. Don't regret it. So hold on, I'm gonna get this something. Wondering, we already did that. Wondering drums. Asian drums can't do that. Something. Monique, did I already upload that one? Yep. I'm in need. I got you. Yeah, that should be it. All right, sweet. So here it is. We're just gonna kind of go through these real quick. For this one, the things that's standing out. So the vocal placement. Just to be brief here. Do you have the stem beats? Do you have the stems to the beat? Or is this just a stereo track? Because that's going to change what I'm going to say as well.
Yeah, hurts hard when you're hoping, broken. I don't feel right, you don't notice, broken. I don't think there's anybody else to fix what you need done.
So, I'm specifically talking about the vocals right now. As y'all know, I'm the most picky with my vocals. I'm definitely the most picky with my vocals, but
yeah, hurts hard when you're hoping, broken. I don't feel right, you don't notice, broken. I don't think there's anybody else to fix what you need done. It hurts, it's bad, I know, I got it right back. It hurts, it's bad, but I ought to let it scroll. Yeah, another side. I came in your life again. Why does this keep happening? Not weighing advantages, yeah. I've been practicing, but ain't nothing really hard as a loss. Cause you and I might be a lost cause, but I still.
So here's what I'm here. Okay, it's just stereo track. So one thing, I would turn down the vocal, or turn up the track, whatever is easier. If you have a limiter already going on, it doesn't look like it is. Yeah, turn up the track like quite a bit.
Yeah, hurts.
Like I'm gonna try to emulate it. I can't do it quite.
Yeah, hurts hard when you're hoping, broken. I don't feel right, you don't notice, broken. I don't think there's.
So I think there needs to be some compression too, because in this section your vocals are quiet,
Other side.
and in this section they're loud. So it's either a sectional thing, you turn down that section and turn up the vocals here, or however you want to do it. But right now the vocals get really loud in the rap section and really quiet in the sung section. Also, they're pretty nasally right now, and And in my ears, they're really bright without that much like balance in the low end. So I think that if you take the vocal, and right now there's a lot of this and this. There's a lot of 2.2. You hear that whistling? And there's just a lot of top end beyond 5K. I don't want to do too much here because it's changing up the track. So I'm literally ignore what it's doing to the track, like the actual instrumental. And like 9.5, 1K-ish. And then I added some of that low mids back in. Because the vocals have to have, if you're going to make it bright, then you have to have a balance of low mids and low end. Like, you have to. So I'm trying to vocally, again, ignore what it's doing to the track. I want more of this area in the vocal. And this is not an EQ, this is saturation. So ignore the tools, ignore the exact frequencies that I'm doing. It's more about the sound. Hear what I'm hearing here. Yeah, we don't need that. It's still not quite right for me. And I just don't think I can do it without the individual tracks. But I think there's just a little bit too much cutting going on in the low mids. And I think that usually this is the order of how people mixing wise get things. So I feel like most people get the low end first when they're like learning how to mix. They kind of figure out decently how the low end works. And then eventually they kind of get to the point where they learn how the top end works. They're kind of like, all right, I'm figuring out the top end. I know how to make things bright, and how to get it balanced, like where it's not too bright, it's not too dark. I'm in control of how balanced the top end is. The last thing that most people get, and most people never get, I would say, is the mid range. And this is the secret to the sauce, and it's the most difficult part. Because there's a lot of mid-range information going on. And so if you can figure out a way, like, so right now, I'm hearing in this, I want to, there's also a lot of like mid-range information and stuff going on. Like a lot of resonances. I assume it's partially just the beautiful natural resonances of your voice that is partially not in control. And I also think usually resonances also come from the acoustic environment that you record in, as well as the acoustic environment that you record in, as well as hey, I am Jet. I'm not actually taking any more submissions tonight, so you can feel free to submit it, but I may not get to it tonight, as I got a dip by like around 10. But you can still try and stick around if you'd like, but I may not be able to get to it. I got a hard cutoff at 10 tonight. So, and I'm going through these quick, so who knows? I might be able to get to it. Let's see, 10 my time, California time. It's kind of like these dips. Like resonances aren't a good thing. In fact, most vocal coaches will teach you how to control your resonances and to have more, like, make use of your resonance. So trying to find that balance here. I think from what it sounds like, if I had to guess, it sounds like you got a little bit too surgical with your cutting of the EQ. And to the point where if you do too much cutting and if you get too surgical, it starts to sound hollow, and that's kind of where it is right now. So I would say cut a little bit less, leave the vocals a little bit more naturally, and kind of I think that's the first place to start. As far as like the beat, turn up the beat just a touch more, and then what you can do, you can put on the 2-track, you can put a Pro Q3. I'm gonna do it as an example here. This is not right because it's two different songs. But on Pro Q3, you can put another instance of Pro Q3. So one on the instance of your vocals and another on the instance of your track. You can actually go into Analyzer here. Go in with this. You'll see the other one. And you'll see these red areas is where the frequencies are clashing. Now, granted, these are two stereo tracks, so it's not perfect. So I can cut out this part. I could cut out this part. maybe
It hurt.
I boost this part.
I know.
You don't want to get too, again, you don't want to get too surgical. If you get too surgical, then it doesn't sound good. But this is a good reference for a decent reference. Make sure that you always make decisions that sound good. But a good reference to like figure out where to cut in the 2-track, in the stereo track, versus your voice. Because you'll notice if I right now in your vocals,
It hurt.
if I cut this section in the beat right now,
It hurt. It's bad.
your vocals would cut through so much more immediately. Like your vocals would just cut through so much more if you just cut that out of the beat and not the vocals. But this is a bad example because I only have your stereo track.
It hurt. It's bad. I know.
I only have your stereo track, so it's cutting out the beat as well. So can we do that with the Oxford Dynamic EQ? I don't know. I don't use the Oxford Dynamic EQ myself. But many EQs, the Neutron one does it as well. So also, if you want 10% off your iZotope products or want a free month on your iZotope stuff, I'm sponsored by iZotope. So click on ! iZotope if you want to take advantage of some of their stuff. Okay. I mostly used it on 2 when 2 was out, but they probably have it now. If I go to iZotope, same thing here. Except iZotope is something really cool. You go to masking, click on the other one. You can actually link.
It's bad. I know. I got it right back. It hurts. It's bad. But I ought to let us grow.
Isn't that cool? You can actually inverse link. Where, remember, if you inverse link it, you do half as much because it's like if it's not linked, then you could do the normal amount. But if it's linked, that means it's cutting where you're boosting and boosting where you're cutting, vice versa. So you do half the amount that you would actually do because you're going twice the distance because it's doing the inverse, the opposite. So hopefully that helps. We're going to move on to the next song. Up next, we have, it's really great. Up next, we have ASAP Roberts, who submitted... ASAP Roberts, you here, my dog? Oh, what is going on? All right. Where's the Discord? There it is. ASAP Roberts posted... LNG, the Kid, Mind Games. Is that right? Hold on, wait a second. Was that the right one? No, this is a different day. Monique, come closer. We're going to do that one. Let's listen to this one real quick. Here it comes from the top.
Just wanna pull up at a place, stay somewhere nice and fancy. High rise, just might spend the night with you. Give me your time, we can get comfortable. How far do you wanna go? Rosé in a glass bar with you. I can do what you want to do. Just let me know, cause I wanna get closer to you. Oh. Look, you wanna get wasted, yeah. We can get messy, make no reservations. Cause tonight I wanna play with you. Cause tonight I wanna go crazy with you. Oh. Give me all of you. Let's do something we ain't done before. But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. To you, there's so many things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you, yeah, closer to you, closer to you. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things that we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you, closer to you. Closer, baby, we can get closer. We ain't gotta be sober. I'm calling you to come over. Boy, you better make your way down to me. And the rest is history. Skin on skin is my favorite thing. I I'll be fiending for your love, babe. Fiending for your love, babe. Can't explain how much I need you by my side every time. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Yeah, closer to you. Closer to you. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things that we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Closer to you.
Woo! Nice job. Nice job. Again, coming in with the nice mixes. I wonder if you can guess what I'm going to say. Two things. Two main things. We're getting really close with this one. We're getting really close. I may be able to do something with it. Are you subscribed, my dude? Oh, you are subscribed. I may be able to. I'm at least going to get you a reference.
With you, oh, give me
If I can get it to a point where I'm happy enough to willing to master it.
something we done
First thing, turn down the vocals.
But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh, yeah, baby, I wanna get closer to you.
I love the low mids right where they're at right now with the vocals.
Things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Yeah, closer to you. Closer to
As if y'all know, I'm hypersensitive with this 7 to 11K area in the vocals.
with you, oh, give me all you. Let's do something we done before. But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh, yeah, baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Yeah, closer to you. Closer to you. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things that we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Closer to you. With you, oh, give me all you. Let's do something we done before. But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh, yeah, baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Yeah, closer to you. Closer to you. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things that we could do.
I'm gonna see what this sounds like. I want a little bit of like saturation here, but I'm not quite sure exactly how I want to do it.
With you, oh, give me all you. Let's do something we done before. But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh, yeah, baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Yeah, closer to you. Closer to you. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things that we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Closer to you.
very subtle moves here. There's a bunch of subtle moves, but I'm actually
with you. Oh, give me all you. Let's do something we ain't done before. But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh, yeah, baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things we could do. Baby, I wanna get closer to you. Yeah, closer to you. Closer to you. Baby, I wanna get.
okay. And then I want to do. So the only thing, okay, this is totally what I'm hearing. The only thing that I can't do, and I'm torn on, and this is something that is the next level. I think the next level for you, A$AP Roberts. The next level for you is a really simple one, and there's no way around it. It just takes time, and unfortunately, that's all it is. Is right now the vocals sound clean tonally. The space is clean, other than just turning it down just a touch. I really think to get to that next level, focus on automating your effects. And I just released an episode on automating effects on the Mixing Music podcast. It's a free resource for mixing and mixers and producers. You can type in ! Podcast to get a link to that. I think if you do some because right now, this is a harsh word, but I want to be direct and mean it. The vocals sound really good, but they're kind of boring. And I wish that there was just a little bit more going on, not from vocal production and from recording necessarily, but from a mix standpoint. Like, I wish.
With you, oh, give me all you. Let's do something we ain't done.
Like maybe this segment, like section here, more dry, less wet, less wet. You. The delay. Do. Like throws. Yo. You know, like throw some delays on there. Just throw things, as in like delay and vocal throws. I think that's gonna go a long way, and that's gonna get you to that next level. If you do. And I do this a lot too, so I need this. I'm speaking to myself a little bit too. Throwing on blanket reverbs and delays on the entire song, the entire time, is kind of keeping it from sounding that next level. And unfortunately, the reason why I don't do it most of the time, and I do it consciously as well, is because it takes more time. It truly does take more time. And but if you're willing to put in that time, if you're wanting to, I think putting in those delays and throws and putting the verses in this specific song, I think that would sound really dope if the verses were a bit more dry and then the chorus were the same amount of wetness as now. Messing with your reverbs and delays, maybe having a reverb and delay where it's like pitched up. I'm not quite sure exactly what to do. I'm going to play one of my mixes, and it's all right. Usually they don't like it when I play Spotify songs, but this is a good example of. It's super simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. But in the first verse, listen to the reverb throws of his vocals. They're pitched up an octave, and they're only on the last words of the verses.
Green eyes caught staring at the high life, wishing you could be like them. They got the fast cars, diamonds on the high rise, always looking like a 10.
Hold on, it's coming.
First class, always gotten everything they wanted. Turns out they're lonely.
It's the pre-chorus. Listen to this.
So tell me why you wanna live that kind of life. You want your name in flashing lights. You wanna chase that shallow high. Tell me why you wanna sell yourself a lie. Cause in the end you'll realize it's gonna leave you cold and empty on the other side.
like, and then the moment of dry before the drop, just a touch, like things like that didn't take that much time, and that kind of made it feel very professional. And I think that doing that is going to go a long way for something like this. And then tonally, that for me is a really bright mix. Like it's really one of those like really bright pop mixes. This is still brighter. Actually, that's a good reference for me. I'm putting me back into the zone. A lot of that like high-end hiss.
Just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh, yeah, baby, I wanna get closer to you. There's so many things.
So my question is, do you want me to send this to you? I'm more than happy to send this to you, but I think that I don't know. I'm on the fence of whether to like actually fully master this, because I think that those are some changes that I really want to hear. What do you think? I'm gonna let you decide. I can just throw a limiter on right now and send this to you as a reference. I'm just gonna throw a limiter right now.
Give me all you. Let's do something we ain't done before. But just know that this is everything I ever wanted. I ever wanted. Oh.
Gonna bounce that out for now. What is this one called? Yeah, honestly, like this mix is so good. Like, it's just. This is good enough where, hey, are you a mixer as a profession? Is this for fun? Are you a recording tracking engineer? Where are you located? Want to be my assistant? Oh, funny. All right, come closer. All right, I'm bouncing it down for you. Next is we're gonna go. Who did I say is next? Jake Cook, and then Noah. Let's do it. Jake, what was the name of your song? Something. You have something. All right. Holy cow, this is feeling like forever. Let me message my folks. 19 years old, studying audio engineering in Melbourne, Australia. Damn. I recently opened my own studio, so yeah, I'm doing recording, mixing, mastering. Oh, well, sounds good. Keep it up. You ever want to mix prep for me? Let me know. Email me. I doubt that we can make anything happen. Like, it takes a lot more. I would want someone, like, literally to assist. If you were literally to assist me, I would want someone here locally. But that being said, I really like your mixes, so if something works out, let's at least start that conversation. Okay, what was I gonna do? Let me text my people to see if this karaoke night is still going. It technically started at 8. I told everybody it's... Okay. You're about to move out. Damn, finish school first and then get a visa. All right, called Something. Let's listen to this Something track. All right, Jake. Here it is. I always love your song, so this is going to be good.
Why don't you talk to me? Don't be a wall to me. Don't hurt my feelings. I ain't got much left. Like a song, but you carry a whole bunch of stress from a job.
job at the Mary. Married a madman, she still doesn't know how to go, but she thinking about her life on the road. Toast for the lonely, cause I heard he's still betting on the ponies. Chilling with them wisecracking mooks and jabronis, and they sitting on the same corner that my mama told me. School of the foes, roll of the roller. Money making dance, but the smarts make me cooler. Sipping pine leaves and taking divine sodas. I ain't come to dance, I ain't bring my non-bogus. Louis Vuitton soda, she bringing the class fashion. I ain't finna eat cause I'm living on for the passion. Young and understated, glad that I waited. I ain't gotta stretch, my grass is elongated. Better get a chance, well I got one, can't tell me. Why don't you talk to me? Don't hurt my feelings, I ain't got much left. And I'm supposed to know I got a bad decision that's locked and loaded. Take a couple deep breaths cause y'all vibe is potent. Like a toast in the ghost or a bag for the show. Lights on, what you carrying? Now she getting wrong for her friends at the Ritz. And everything goes on the fist cause she made hits. Even got a land truck just for the kids. All black with a tint, red with the lifestyle. Play a couple shows, not a million on the file. Don't need a ring with a rock for the finger. If you spend a couple down on the coke for the winner. Toast. Said I can understand how you feel, rockin' with a B on the wheels. But I know if you call, I'ma roll, cause I ain't mess around when it comes to the gold. Talk to me.
Yo, nice job. Nice job. We're kind of going through these real quick. Noah, which was let me pull it up. Which one was the one you did? Noah said to skip tonight. Divergence, mix 1. I'm going to skip this one. How to make it active for now. Sweet. Yes. Sounds good. This is very much like an era mix. And
in on the same corner that my mama told me. School of the foes, roll of the roller. Money making dance, but the smarts make me cooler. Sipping pine leaves and taking divine sodas. I ain't come to dance, I ain't bring my
vocals. I like the tone.
She bringing the class fashion. I ain't finna eat cause I'm living on for the passion. Young and understated, glad that I waited. I ain't gotta stretch, my grass is elongated. Better get a chance, well I got one.
Thank you for following Vibe Out Music. I think you could turn up this vocal here. Turn up this vocal that's around here.
Is it something that I'm supposed to know? I got a bad decision that's locked and loaded. Take a couple deep breaths cause y'all vibe is potent. Like a toast in the ghost or a bag for the show. Lights on, what you carrying? Now she getting wrong for her friends at the Ritz. And everything goes on the fist cause she made hits. Even got a land truck just for the kids. All black with a tint, red with the lifestyle. Play a couple shows, not a million on the file. Don't need a ring with a rock for the finger. If you spend a couple down on the coke for the winner. Toast. Said I can understand how you feel, rockin' with a B on the wheels. But I know if you call, I'ma roll, cause I ain't mess around when it comes to the gold. Talk to me. In on the same corner that my mama told me. School of the foes, roll of the roller. Money making dance, but the smarts make me cooler. Sipping pine leaves and taking divine sodas. I ain't come to dance, I ain't bring my non-bogus. Louis Vuitton soda, she bringing the class fashion. I ain't finna eat cause I'm living on for the passion. Young and understated, glad that I waited. I ain't gotta stretch, my grass is elongated. Better get a chance, well I got one, can't tell me. In on the same corner that my mama told me. School of the foes, roll of the roller. Money making dance, but the smarts make me cooler. Sipping pine leaves and taking divine sodas. I ain't come to dance, I ain't bring my non-bogus. Louis Vuitton soda, she bringing the class fashion. I ain't finna.
Did you hear that? Super subtle, but I think that these general tweaks. So turn up you gotta turn up these vocals. Sounding like Foo Fighters, my dog. I can't hear what you're saying. The vibe, it's a super vibe. It's a super vibe, and it sounds great. I just don't know what you're saying, so it's like if you want to be understood, I think that you should either turn it up or something. And there's a tonal difference. Like, yeah, very much of that style of music.
Money making dance, but the smarts making cola. Sipping pine leaves and
Have a good night, Noah. See you next week. Working day and night. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I'm gonna go sing for you, my guy. Yeah, this is sounding really good. Other than that's kind of like what I'm feeling, like some tonal stuff here, a little bit cloudy, 630-ish, a little bit cloudy, 200, 2K-ish. The S's in your brother's voice slightly cuts a little bit tough around 10K, 10 to 11, like 9.5 to 11. And I would love that kick drum. There's enough kick drum coming in around like the 50, 70, 8, like 70, 60, 70, 80 hertz stuff. I'd love to hear a little bit more of the upper end of the low end. So like 150.
money making dance, but the smarts making cola. Sipping pine leaves and taking divine sodas. I ain't come to dance, I ain't bring my non-bogus. Louboutin soda, she bringing the class fashion. I ain't finna eat cause I'm living on for the passion. Young and understated, glad that I waited. I ain't gotta stretch, my grass is elongated. Better get it.
Like, nah, I want more low end. I want more low end. I wish you gave me a little bit more low end in the kick. Right now it's like a little bit chesty.
Money making dance, but the smarts making cola. Sipping.
I think it'd be cool if it like, and you don't need to make it louder in any sense of the word. I think it coming out just fine, especially because like real bass doesn't go as low as 808s. So if you just kind of like let it like, even if it's just like a dynamic EQ, just like bring it out just a touch.
Money making dance, but the smarts making cola. Sipping pine leaves and taking divine sodas.
That'd be dope.
I ain't come to dance, I ain't bring my non-bogus. Louboutin soda, she bringing the.
Like it's super subtle, and that's kind of a good place. Yeah, thank you so much for submitting. This is sounding good. This is sounding really good, and it's definitely like it's an era thing, so it's not sounding super duper pop. But I think that that's like a good thing too. Like I don't think it should, and I think that right now, the mixes and the sound that you have a lot of personality, which I can't say enough about. Mixes should have more of that. So it has a lot of personality. It's very you. Keep going with it. I don't think you should make it sound pop. I don't think that you should be referencing like Post Malone stuff. I think it's better that you reference more like AP, like Anderson .Paak type stuff. Like, and his stuff is not like the most pop central mixes either, at least like a lot of his stuff. So I think it's the same thing, like very personality mixes and engineering. And I think that this is very good sounding like personality mixes. Much better than a regular indie record, but yet still not meant to sound like super polished. And that's the way it is. That's like it's beautiful. I love it. And please don't ever change it. Yeah, still better than whoever mixes Thundercat. But yeah, other than that, yeah, we're gonna close out in like 5 more minutes. We're gonna go through In Need. Who did In Need? Did I already do this one? Scumlord, are you still here? We're about to get to your song. If you're here. We already did In Need. And it doesn't sound like the person who submitted this song is here either. It looks like he left. Kind of going through these. Okay. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, he's not here. So, or she's not here. Oh, you're here. Oh, Mounting. Okay, good. Okay, we're gonna listen to your song real quick. If Scumlord is here, then I'm gonna listen to your song after this, and then we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna play it from the top. Here it is. Nice job. Sounds good, my dude. That actually is a really, really, really good mix. Sorry, I'm just burped a little bit, but that's a really good mix, actually. I don't really have much to add. I noticed that you have the file called vocal volume increase, so probably just like a little version that you did. I think that if it was any lower, I think that this is a good call right now where it's at right now. Couple things I want to try here. I want you to take this with a grain of salt, and also, like honestly, like this is a really high level mix. So this is going to be in the realms of personal preference, but I think this is going to help you, and I recommend you try these things on the individual tracks, not on the stereo track. A lot of this in the vocals that's clashing with the hi-hats, but like 7 to 9. A little bit of this. The keys. Let me see if I can do because right now there's a lot of like there's a lot of this is I want some like the low ends to balance out. I want the low end to balance out a bit more with the top end. So I don't want to do too much. Off. On. Off. It's a little bit too much right now. Right now it's a little bit too much. I don't want this much. See how it makes the top end feel a little bit more balanced? Right now the top end feels a lot more balanced. You want it, the brightness is really, really good. This is about the keys. The keys here. This is the keys. Lots of resonance right here. I would only cut it out on the keys and not on the vocals. I probably would like this in the vocals. This is mostly for the vocals right here. And then this is for the track and the vocals. The bottom end. I'm adding some saturation with some bottom. And it makes the bottom bigger, but I'm not doing it to make the low end bigger. What I'm doing is balancing it out relative to the top end. Without that low mid-range bottom, and I talk about this every live stream, as some mixes just naturally tend to do this. It balances out a touch more, and I think I haven't done it the right amount. Like you should do a little bit less or a specific amount that works for you. But in this ballpark, to me, sounds a lot more balanced and clear. And then where I cut right here, where I cut here, like the 7.5 is cut that only in the instrumental. Like as I'm listening to this, I want to keep that stuff in the vocal. Yeah, and I think that's kind of like, I think if you want to go back and you can screenshot these real quick, you can clip it. You can go to YouTube where I upload all of my streams and you can check out how exactly what I was listening for and stuff. But yeah, go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube, and yeah, this once I'm done streaming, the history will go up and you can see exactly what I did, and I think that this helps. This is saturation, not an EQ. But it's basically just boosting in an EQ. So that's kind of what we should just kind of like listen for that. And again, one more time, this stuff is for the vocals. I think the hi-hats could come down a touch, but this is mostly for the vocals. This is for the keys only, not the vocals. In fact, I think you might be good to boost here a little bit with the vocals. This is for the instrumental and the vocals together. A little bit more low mids to balance out with the top end. And then I did even a little bit more low mid, low end, and just a touch of that. Yeah, 8.5, 885 hertz, it looks like, for the vocals, just a touch. And feels a lot more open, opens it up a little bit more, make it a little bit smoother. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Thank you so much. Last one up next, Scumlord. I got you if you're still online right now. Last but not least, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you. We're gonna do one last song before I close out for the day. I'm just gonna do one song. Scumlord, do you want me to do I Can't Die, or do you want me to do Bestest at Hurting the Mostest? Which one do you want me to do? I'm just gonna do one here. I'm gonna do Bestest at Hurting the Mostest, I think is the first one that you sent, so I'm just gonna do that one real quick. And here it is.
I'm not stupid, but I can be wrong. Think my approach to this is not so strong. I've been wishing that my life would change. Hurt me the most. She never get too close to hurting me the most. She never understand why I'm the bestest. Hurting me the mostest, cause I hurt me the most. You never get too close to hurting me the most. You never understand why I'm the bestest. Hurting me the mostest, yeah. This is something where I can't be modest. Self-sabotage and its finest. A skill set that can't be taught. Develop from the battles lost when fought. This is something where I can't be modest. Self-sabotage and its finest. Skills that can't be taught. Develop from the battles lost when fought.
Hell yeah. Sounds good. So production wise sounds great. Actually, I think the beat is pretty well put together as far as reference. I think that a mix would do quite good as far as like some EQ stuff, to kind of clean things up a touch and kind of get that general spectrum of the track to be a little bit more modern and pop. I think that would be a great direction to go with. And the last thing, I think that a good mix on the vocals will go a long way too. Production-wise and arrangement-wise, I think it sounds great. Are you super against Autotune? Granted that I'm sponsored by them and endorsed by Autotune, so I'm a little bit biased, but if I don't think you need it as a singer, but if you would like to go in the pop vibe, I think that that's a great potentially a great way to kind of like lean into. Definitely need to work on compression. It's really taking me longer to figure out. Yeah, compression is something that I kind of prefer. To be honest, I also hear that too. It's pretty much a vibe. Yeah, for sure. I'm not a huge fan of the reverb. Let me listen to the reverb. Yeah, it's kind of like some digital room stuff. Lots of like 1 to 2K in the reverb, like 1.5K. I wonder if that comes through or if the noise. No, the noise reduction is cutting it out when I do is coming out in the reverb. Yeah, definitely like a brighter and darker, like less mid-range in the reverb. So in the reverb, I'd probably cut it out if I were mixing this myself, right? The vocals, I think that to embrace the grittiness, tracking on the SM58 is great, actually. In fact, I have actually bought a lot of SM58s to give to clients because that is a better mic than most people give credit to. The only thing is that it takes a little bit more mixing, but it's a really great foundational mic because some mics, like a good microphone, can take a lot of manipulation and still sounds good. An SM58 can take a lot of EQ and compression manipulation and still sounds good. Some other cheaper microphones may convince you into think that it sounds good, but it actually sounds bad. You can't manipulate it too much. So yeah, the SM58 is great, and if I were to mix this down, I would have to balance you keeping that like darker gritty vocal. I would have to ask if you wanted that darker gritty vocal as a vibe versus if you wanted to go full out pop vocal like tonality as far as like bright and upfront versus it's meant to be dark and in the mix and kind of like muddy on purpose, vibe versus pop. That's kind of like that's a taste preference. Because right now, like if you take out a little bit of that low mid and kind of balance it out a bit more, I think right now this is a really cool sound. It's like a postmodern 80s, like a post 80s 80 track. And I kind of like that. Like as far as like vibe, like the way the vocals sound relative to the beat is very much kind of like how I would imagine like hip hop would sound like the late 80s. So it's truly just a vibe. So I don't know if you should do too much mixing. And I feel like if I touch this, especially without a reference and without any sort of direction, I don't think I would be the best person to mix this for you. I think that there would be other mixers because I specifically mix more like pop stuff. So I'm not saying that I'm not like pitching myself, but I'm saying like this is I think that you should find someone to mix for you or to you mix yourself. Just keep in mind like I don't think you have to do super super bright modern pop stuff. I don't think that this is the right vibe for this track. Oh, cool, perfect. Yeah, this is a vibe. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone. We'll go back to the jazz for a minute as I pack up and get ready to go to. It's a karaoke night. So I have a collective in LA here, and it's a bunch of artists and producers here. We work on work a lot for 88 Rising. We've done some stuff with Kanye's people. We've done some stuff with Kali Uchis. Snoop Dogg, what else? There's a bunch of stuff. You can find us on Outdonesia _ as is our tag. Kid Cudi, J. Cole, Anderson Paak. Anderson Paak. We've done a lot of cool stuff as a group. Trey Songs. We've done like a lot of cool stuff here. So you can follow us out on _, and we're kind of building that brand, and we're doing a karaoke night. It's a bunch of Asian people. That's what it is. It's an Asian collective of higher end like professionals, and we're doing karaoke night because we're Asian, and more importantly, karaoke is fun and good for the soul, regardless of your race or ethnicity. And so they started a couple hours ago, and I said I would join in late because I want to do this. So I'm gonna go and hang out with them for a little bit, and then I appreciate y'all joining in. I love y'all. Thank you so much. This is such a blast for me to come in and do every week. And y'all are so good and so talented, and I'm really proud to be hanging out with y'all. Is that too loud? I feel like that's way too loud. There we go. On that note, happy mixing, my friends, and stay saucy. Stay creative. Peace.